Paul continues in Romans 2 by showing that God's judgment is impartial, not only because he judges without favoritism, but because he judges every person according to the light received. Those who sinned without the Mosaic law will not be judged as though they possessed it, and those who sinned under the law will not be protected merely because they heard it. God's impartial judgment holds every sinner accountable, whether through the law written in Scripture or through the moral witness of conscience written on the heart. Pause and consider that. Paul first distinguishes between those who sinned without law and those who sinned under the law. The Gentile world did not receive the Mosaic law as Israel did. But lack of covenant possession does not mean lack of accountability before God. Those who sinned without the law will also perish without the law. Their judgment is not based on a revelation they did not possess, but neither does their lack of that revelation make sin innocent. Those under the law, by contrast, will be judged by the law. Israel's possession of the law was a real privilege, but privilege does not erase guilt. The law does not become a shield for the person who transgresses it. It becomes the standard by which his disobedience is exposed. Pause and consider that. The Gentile cannot plead ignorance as innocence, and the Jew cannot plead possession of the law as righteousness. This is why the argument turns immediately to hearing and doing. Paul says, "It isn't the hearers of the law who are righteous before God, but the doers of the law will be justified." Paul is not yet unfolding the doctrine of justification by faith. He is pressing the principle of judgment. The law read, heard, known, or possessed does not make a sinner righteous before God. If the law is the standard appealed to, then the law demands obedience, not mere exposure to its words. The contrast between hearers and doers strikes at false confidence in religious knowledge. A person may sit under instruction, recognize moral truth, and approve what is right, yet still remain condemned if the truth heard never becomes obedience rendered. Hearing the law can increase clarity, but it cannot substitute for righteousness. This matters because Paul is dealing with the human instinct to turn privilege into protection. The one under the law might assume that nearness to revelation places him in a safer position before God. Paul reverses that assumption. Greater light brings greater responsibility. The law makes God's will known, but the knowledge of God's will condemns the one who does not do it. The phrase, "the doers of the law will be justified," functions within Paul's judgment argument. It states the standard that the law itself requires. If someone seeks righteousness on the basis of law, then doing, not hearing, is the measure. But Paul's wider argument will show that sinners do not meet that standard. Pause and consider that. Here, he exposes false security before announcing the righteousness of God revealed through faith in Jesus Christ. Paul then turns to Gentiles who do not have the Mosaic law. When they do by nature the things of the law, they show that moral awareness is not absent among them. They may not possess Israel's written code, but their actions sometimes correspond to its moral requirements. In that sense, they are a law to themselves, not because they invent righteousness, but because their conduct reveals an inward moral witness. Paul describes this as the work of the law written in their hearts. He does not say that Gentiles possess the Mosaic law in covenant form, nor that conscience is equal to Scripture. He says their conduct shows that the moral work of the law has a witness within them. Human beings are not morally blank. Even apart from special revelation, conscience testifies that right and wrong are real. This witness does not save them. It holds them accountable. Pause and consider that. Conscience can accuse and conscience can excuse, but it cannot erase guilt or create righteousness before God. It bears witness alongside their actions, confirming that they know enough to be morally responsible. Paul's argument then moves from outward conduct to inward disclosure. Their thoughts accuse or excuse them, but the final judgment will reach deeper than public behavior or visible reputation. God will judge the secrets of men. Nothing hidden from others is hidden from Him. The inner motives, suppressed truths, concealed sins, and self-defending thoughts of the heart will all stand open before His righteous judgment. Pause and consider that. Conscience can accuse and conscience can excuse, but it cannot erase guilt or create righteousness before God. It bears witness alongside their actions, confirming that they know enough to be morally responsible. Paul's argument then moves from outward conduct to inward disclosure. Their thoughts accuse or excuse them, but the final judgment will reach deeper than public behavior or visible reputation. God will judge the secrets of men. Nothing hidden from others is hidden from Him. The inner motives, suppressed truths, concealed sins, and self-defending thoughts of the heart will all stand open before His righteous judgment. Pause and consider that. Those without the law are accountable according to the witness they have, and those under the law are accountable according to the law they heard. The law exposes. Conscience testifies. Thoughts accuse or excuse. And Christ will judge the secrets of every heart.